I got into performance because I wanted to get into television actually. So I was studying stage management and theatre lighting and sound. And when I was doing a placement at the Riverside Studios, there was a lovely lady called Shira, and she said to me, "Look, I think you'd be really good to manage this writers group, a young poetry group." So I stage managed their very first show, did the lighting, did the sound for it, and then found I wanted to write with them. So I was writing poetry, and then we was performing with them, and then I found that I enjoyed singing a lot. Anyway, it's something I kind of did from a child, and so I started to combine singing and music, singing and poetry together. And when I was at uni, I sort of started moving with some of the more performing arts musician people, and found myself singing in this girl group through Judy Dexter. Judy Dexter introduced me to amazing artists, Marcina Arnold and Porskief, lovely lady called Louise Mills, and we sort of formed this little girl group, and we were singing a cappella, and we were sort of like trying to do a Zap Mama thing, and it was really, really sweet. I really enjoyed working with them. But as a collective, we ended up going to South Africa as part of a massive arts project, doing storytelling, dance, drumming, and singing. And it was there that I met Pops Mohammed, who kind of became my mentor and introduced me to traditional African instruments, and I just happened to be the one that take to them, the kora, mbira, kalimba. He bought me my first kalimba. And also I was playing percussion as well, playing djembe with lovely Tebe Lepere. And so I kind of, it sort of took me really. Performance and music kind of brought me from backstage, doing stage management, to the front of the stage. One of the things I would advise young women who are entering the industry right now is it's easy to say stay true to yourself, because you've got a lot of people saying, you need to do this to get where you're going, or you need to look like that, or you need to make this kind of music, or we need to put you in a genre, you have to be, and sometimes you're not quite sure. You can kind of lose your way in that sense. Now, as somebody who's a writer, writing is kind of what I am. I don't write because I want to be a poet or I want to be a writer. I write because if I don't wake up in the morning and write something, my head will explode. So I have to write. And then it just so happens that it's something I'm good at, and it enables me to really find out how I process the world, where I fit in the world, who I am, what my voice is, what it is I want to say. As a young woman, be really, really clear on who you are. I find it through writing and also through music. And I think if you're entering the industry, you're gonna have to find people who can really tell you straight up and down, this isn't you. This is you. So it's about trusting your instincts and really staying true to your own gut. And I get, like I said, for myself, I get to exercise that through writing. Yeah. For me, the creative process does begin with my writing. As I've said before, it's where my voice is. If I find something that's upset me, or I feel very strongly about, or something that's really moved me, I feel emotional about, I'll spend a lot of time sort of like dancing around the issue. I find conversations will be all about that for some reason, and everywhere I look, an advert will be about it, and because this thing is just like brewing in my brain. And then maybe one day I'll just say, right, I'm ready, and I'll just sit down and I'll write. So I think it's a kind of like an incubation process, really, because I'm lucky that I can work with music and I can work with poetry, and I can sing. I've got all these palettes that I can work from to paint all the pictures that I want to paint, for the stories that I want to tell, for the way I want people to be moved. I can pull on these tools that are available to me to get me from A to B and take people on hopefully a journey where they're completely immersed in the moment with me, Yeah.